Hey folks, welcome back again to Max Nafe Horsemanship. And I want to talk a little bit about, it's a topic that I have talked about before, but I'm going to talk about it again because it's very relevant to something that just took place. And so it's not a past event, it's not a scenario, it's not a, no, this is a real thing that's just recently happened. And I think it might be useful if we talk about it. Now, I've mentioned before, well, several times actually, how never mind what, worry about why. And well, the what is what, that's the stuff you see. And it's kind of like, actually we've had to do this a couple times recently thinking about it. The one little horse I was working with, the little brown one, she decided she didn't like the saddle. And so, well, okay, she didn't like the saddle, but that was what? That wasn't why. That was just what we saw. We saw that she did not like the saddle. But is that actually what the problem was? No. The problem was actually her sensitivity and reactivity to just things in general. So I've been working on that. I've been taking her into the round pen and working on desensitizing with the flag and things like that. And we've been making very slow progress with her, surprisingly, but we have been making a little bit of progress. But all of a sudden, she started getting hard to catch. And that really surprised me because I had trained her to be caught. And up until recently, which has been quite a while now, I wasn't having any problems catching her. She was pretty decent. But all of a sudden, she didn't want to be caught anymore. And I thought, that is really weird. What's going on here? And I'm thinking that the being caught is the problem. No, that's a symptom. And it's the way a horse's brain works is they associate things with one another. And what was happening, it took me a minute to figure it out. And this is where you got to do this stuff too. No different. You know, I don't have any secret answers to this stuff. It's just, you have to use your mind to figure out a problem. The same way I have to. Exactly the same. No different. So I was trying to figure out, well, why is it all of a sudden she's hard to catch? What has changed? And then I realized, well, I've been working with her on the desensitizing thing, and then all of a sudden I realized, okay, that puts pressure on her. That stresses her out a bit. And so now she is connected the getting caught with the stress because I catch her. I take her into the round pen and then I stress her out. Well, I don't mean to, but that's ultimately what ends up happening is she gets stressed by the whole situation. Excuse me, but the mosquitoes are terrible. So what's happening is she is connected, being caught with the stress and that you know, of being in the round pen with me. And so she figures, okay, if I don't get caught, I don't get the stress. And that's why she has become hard to catch, is because she's connected those two things together. It's not that one has anything to do with the other, but she has connected them. Because what comes after, you know, what comes next or what comes before, you know, you got to look at it this way, okay? And that's how we figured out what our problem actually was, why she was being hard to catch. So what I did the last time I went to catch her is I did something a little bit different. Is instead of taking her up in the round pen and working with her like I usually do, I just, well, we had to go through the usual routine, which I've shown you, so I don't need to do this again, is I showed you how you just follow the horse around and drive it, make it move until it finally decides I don't want to do that anymore, and bing, bang, boom, you got yourself a horse. And so that's exactly what I was doing with her. And when I finally caught her, and if you see me looking over that way, it's because she's over there, way over there. You probably, maybe you can if you squint, you can see over there, way over there. She's back there. Yeah, anyhow. What I did was I used what I've shown you to drive her and make her keep moving until finally she decided she didn't want to do that anymore and was willing to let me catch her. And when I caught her, I put the halter on, rubbed on her, told her she's a good girl. I took the halter off and walked away. So that I was trying to break the connection between the two events so that she doesn't connect being caught with what stress was happening in the round pen. And these are the kind of things that you have to do. Never mind the what, figure out the why, and then try and break any connections that are going on in things like, well, that was a perfect example there is, I was working on her with the desensitizing thing, and it ended up overflowing into the being caught thing, and she connected those two and said, no, I'm not getting caught, because every time I get caught, I go in the round pen and I get stressed out. That's what she's thinking. She connected the two events, the two images in her mind. They don't think it's sentences, but she still connected those two things in her mind, that getting caught, stress, together. Okay, one leads to the other, and that's why I say you gotta figure this stuff out. And like I say, I'm no different than you. I'm just like you. I got to figure this stuff out, and you're going to have to figure this stuff out too. So the next time you see something that you perceive as being undesirable in your horse, just remember what you're seeing isn't always the problem. In fact, in many cases, it is not the problem. Think a little bit longer and harder about the whole thing and figure out what the problem really is. Because what you're seeing, a lot of times, it's just a symptom of a problem. It's not the why. All you're seeing is the what, and you have to figure out what's causing it, what the real why is. And I've given you two examples now. She didn't like the saddle. Turned out that had nothing to do with the saddle. It was actually she was just reacting to things. And then secondly, she didn't want to be caught. Well, that was because we were working on the reacting to things, and that stressed her out to the point where she connected the two and said, no, I don't want you catching me anymore. So, and a lot of people will, I can't remember exactly what the event was, but somebody was having a problem with a certain thing, and I says, well, I think your problem is actually this. And they go, that's not possible. The horse can't connect those two things. And I go, well, you'd be surprised. Just because it doesn't seem like something that would connect doesn't mean it doesn't. And in the horse's mind, you never know what's going on in there. I'm not sure anybody has a good understanding of what's going on in there, because we're not horses. And horses do have a unique way of thinking that is quite different than humans. So anyhow, I hope this helps you out a little bit. It might not solve all your problems, but maybe it'll solve one of them. 2, 3, I don't know. Anyhow, you have yourself a great day. Go play with your horses. We'll see you on the next one. Bye now.